Welcome students. Today we are going to see the lesson Heat and Temperature from Physics of Standard 7. Come, let's get started with the lesson.
Unit 1 Heat and Temperature. Introduction. We shiver when it is cold outside and sweat when it is hot outside. But how can you measure those weather temperatures? Temperature is involved in many aspects of our daily lives. The measurement of warmness or coldness of a substance is known as its temperature. It is a measure of average kinetic energy of the particles in an object. Temperature is related to how fast the atoms within a substance are moving. The movement of gas particles is shown in the picture. The gas particles on the right have more kinetic energy than those on the left. So, the gas on the right is at a higher temperature. Temperature units. There are three units which are used to measure the temperature. They are degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. First, degrees Celsius. Celsius is written as the degree symbol with C and read as degree. For example, 20, the degree symbol and C. So, how can we read that? We should read as 20 degrees Celsius. Celsius is called as centigrade as well. Next, Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is written as degree symbol with F. For example, 25, the degree symbol with F. So how can we read it? 25 degree Fahrenheit. Next, Kelvin. Kelvin is written as K. For example, 100 K. So it is read as 100 Kelvin. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. Measuring temperature. The temperature of the object is well approximated with the kinetic energy of the substances. The high temperature means that the molecules within the object are moving at a faster rate. But the question arises how to measure it. Molecules in any substance are very small to analyze and calculate its movement in order to measure its temperature. So we must use an indirect method to measure the kinetic energy of the molecules of a substance. We studied that solid expands when heat is supplied to it. Like solid substances, liquid are also affected by heat. To know this, we need to do an activity. So what are the requirements of this activity? It's simple: a small glass bottle, a rubber cork, an empty refill, water, color, a candle, a fork and a paper. What to do? Take a glass bottle, fill it with colored water. Make hole at the center of the rubber cork. Next, pass empty refill from the hole of the rubber cork. Make the bottle airtight and observe the water raised in the refill. Make a scale on paper, place it behind the refill and note down the position of the surface of water. Hold the bottle with fork and supply heat to it with candle. Now observe. What happens? The water in the refill, it slowly raises up. Now take off the candle and leave the liquid cool. Now what happens to the water in the refill? It slowly comes down. So here, what happens to the liquid? When a liquid is heated, it expands. And when it is cooled down, it contracts. So in a thermometer, when liquid gets heat, it expands. When it is cooled down, it contracts. It is used to measure temperature. So like solid and liquid objects, the effect of heat is also observed on gaseous objects. Thermometer. Thermometer is the most common instrument to measure temperature. There are various kinds of thermometers. Some of them are like glass tubes which look thin and are filled with some kind of liquid, mostly mercury or alcohol. Why mercury or alcohol is used in thermometer? Mostly, alcohol and mercury are used in thermometer as they remain in liquid form even with a change of temperature in them. A small change in the temperature causes change in volume of a liquid. So we measure this temperature by measuring expansion of a liquid in thermometer. Properties of mercury. Its expansion is uniform. For equal amounts of heat, it expands by equal lengths. It is opaque and shiny. It does not stick to the sides of the glass tube. It is a good conductor of heat. It has a high boiling point 357 degrees Celsius and a low freezing point minus 39 degrees Celsius. Hence, a wide range of temperature can be measured using a mercury thermometer. Properties of alcohol. The freezing point of alcohol is less than minus 100 degrees Celsius, so it can be used to measure very low temperatures. Its expansion per degree Celsius raise in temperature is very large. It can be colored brightly and hence is easily visible. Types of thermometers. There are different types of thermometers for measuring the temperatures of different things like air, our bodies, food, and many other things. Among these, the commonly used thermometers are clinical thermometers and laboratory thermometers. Come, let's learn about that. Clinical thermometer. These thermometers are used to measure the temperature of a human body at home, clinics, and hospitals. All clinical thermometers have a kink that prevents the mercury from flowing back into the pulp when the thermometer is taken out from the patient's mouth, so that the temperature can be noted conveniently. There are temperature scales on either side of the mercury thread, one in Celsius scale and the other in Fahrenheit scale. Since the Fahrenheit scale is more sensitive than the Celsius scale, body temperature is measured in Fahrenheit only. A clinical thermometer indicates temperature from a minimum of 35 degrees Celsius or 94 degrees Fahrenheit to a maximum of 42 degrees Celsius or 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Precautions to be followed while using a clinical thermometer. The thermometer should be washed before and after use, preferably with an antiseptic solution. Check the thermometer a few times to bring the level of the mercury down. Before use, the mercury level should be below 35 degrees Celsius or 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not hold the thermometer by its bulb. Keep the mercury level along your line of sight and then take the reading. Handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard object, it may break. Do not place the thermometer in a hot flame or in the hot sun. Laboratory thermometers. Laboratory thermometers are used to measure the temperature in school and other laboratories for scientific research. They are also used in industries as they can measure temperatures higher than what clinical temperatures can record. The stem and the pulp of a lab thermometers are longer when compared to that of a clinical thermometer, and there is no kink in the lab thermometer. A laboratory thermometer has only the Celsius scale ranging from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Precautions to be followed while using a laboratory thermometer. Do not tilt the thermometer while measuring the temperature. Place it upright. Note the reading only when the pulp has been surrounded by the substance from all sides. Do you know? In humans, the average internal temperature is 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, though it varies among individuals. However, no person always has exactly the same temperature at every moment of the day. Temperatures cycle regularly up and down through the day according to activities and external factors. Difference between clinical and laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer is scaled from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius or from 94 degrees Fahrenheit to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Laboratory thermometer is generally scaled from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. In clinical thermometer, mercury level does not fall on its own as there is a king near the pulp to prevent the fall of mercury level. In laboratory thermometer, mercury level falls on its own as no kink is present. In clinical thermometer, temperature can be read after removing the thermometer from armpit or mouth. In laboratory thermometer, temperature is read while keeping the thermometer in the source of temperature. Example, a liquid or any other thing. To lower the mercury level, jugs are given in clinical thermometers. But in laboratory thermometer, no need to give jug to lower the mercury level. It is used for taking the body temperature, and the laboratory thermometer is used to take temperature in laboratory. Digital thermometer. Here is a lot of concern over the use of mercury in thermometers. Mercury is a toxic substance and it is very difficult to dispose of if a thermometer breaks. These days, digital thermometers are available which do not use mercury. Instead, it has a sensor which can measure the heat coming out from the body directly and from that can measure the temperature of the body. Digital thermometers are mainly used to take the body temperature. Caution. We are advised not to use a clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of any object other than human body. Also, we are advised to avoid keeping it in the sun or near a flame. Why? A clinical thermometer has small temperature range. The glass will crack or burst due to excessive pressure created by expansion of mercury. Next, we are going to know about the maximum minimum thermometer. The maximum and minimum temperatures of the previous day reported in weather reports are measured by a thermometer called the maximum minimum thermometer. Scales of thermometers. Follow the given diagram. First one, Celsius scale. Celsius is the common unit of measuring temperature, termed after Swedish astronomer Anders Celsius in 1742. Before that, it was known as centigrade, as thermometer using the scales are calibrated from freezing point of water, that is 0 degrees Celsius, to 100 degrees Celsius, that is boiling point of water. In Greek, centium means 100 and gradus means steps. Both words make it centigrade and later Celsius. So the difference between the freezing point of water and boiling point of water in Celsius scale is 100 degrees Celsius. Next, Fahrenheit scale. Fahrenheit is a common unit to measure human body temperature. It is termed after the name of a German physicist, Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. Freezing point of water is taken as 32 degree Fahrenheit and boiling point 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Thermometers with Fahrenheit scale are calibrated from 32 degree Fahrenheit to 212 degree Fahrenheit. The difference between the freezing point of water and boiling point of water in Fahrenheit scale is 180 degree Fahrenheit. Next, Kelvin scale. Kelvin scale is termed after Lord Kelvin. It is the SI unit of measuring temperature and written as K, also known as absolute scale as it starts from the absolute zero temperature. The relation between Fahrenheit scale and Celsius scale is as under F minus 32 by 9 is equals to C by 5 and K is equals to 273.15 plus C. Note the given table. The boiling point of water in Celsius scale is 100 degrees Celsius and in Fahrenheit scale it is 212 degree Fahrenheit, and in Kelvin scale it is 373.15 Kelvin. Then the freezing point of water in Celsius scale is 0 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit scale it is 32 degree Fahrenheit, and in Kelvin scale it is 273.15 Kelvin. Next, the mean temperature of human body in Celsius scale is 37 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit scale it is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit, and in Kelvin scale it is 310.15 Kelvin. And the average room temperature in Celsius scale is 72 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit scale it is 23 degree Fahrenheit, and in Kelvin scale it is 296.15 Kelvin. Do you know most of the people in the world use the Celsius scale to measure temperature for day-to-day purpose? The Kelvin scale has been designed in such a way it is not only an absolute temperature scale but also 1 degree Celsius change is equal to 1 Kelvin change. This makes the conversion from Celsius to absolute temperature scale, that is Kelvin scale, easy. Just the addition or subtraction of a constant 273.15. What is meant by absolute temperature? Absolute temperature means is the temperature at which molecules would stop moving, or it is called infinite cold. See, but in United States they prefer to use the Fahrenheit scale. The problem is converting Fahrenheit to absolute scale is not easy. To sort out this problem, they use the Rankine scale. It named after the Glasgow University engineer and physicist Rankine, who proposed it in 1859. It is an absolute temperature scale and has the property of having a 1 degree Rankine change is equal to a 1 degree Fahrenheit change. Fahrenheit users who need to work with absolute temperature can be converted to Rankine by or is equals to F plus 459.67. Numerical problems. How much will the temperature of 68 degree Fahrenheit be in Celsius and Kelvin? So here the Fahrenheit scale value is given. So we need to find out the temperature in Celsius scale and the temperature in Kelvin scale. So the relation between the Celsius and Fahrenheit is F minus 32 by 9, that is equals to C by 5. So what is the Fahrenheit value? It is 68. So substitute the 68 in the place of F. So 68 minus 32 by 9 is equals to C by 5. So we are getting 36 by 9 is equals to C by 5. Now we need the value of C. So take the C out. So we get the formula 5 into 36 by 9, that is equals to 180 by 9. So the answer is 20 degrees Celsius. So now we have the value of Celsius. Next, we need to find out the Kelvin value. What's the formula to find out the Kelvin? Is K is equals to C plus 273.15. So we have the value of Celsius here. So simply 20 plus 273.15, we will get 293.15. Thus, the temperature in Celsius is 20 degrees Celsius and in Kelvin it is 293.15 Kelvin. Next, at what temperature will its value be same in Celsius and in Fahrenheit? Note, if the temperature in Celsius is C, then the temperature in Fahrenheit will be same. That is, F is equals to C. Fahrenheit is equals to Celsius. So what's the relationship between Fahrenheit and Celsius? is F minus 32 by 9 is equals to C by 5. Or we can write C minus 32 by 9 is equals to C by 5 because F is equals to C. Next, to simplify the formula, do the cross multiplication. C minus 32 into 5 is equals to C into 9. So, next step, multiply the 5 inside the values in brackets. So, we will get 5C minus 160. That is equals to 9C. Next, we need the value of C. So, take the 5C in the right hand side. So, minus 160 is equals to 9C minus 5C. So, we are getting minus 160 is equals to 4C. Next step, we need the value C. So, C is equals to minus 160 by 4. So, we will get the value minus 40. So, the temperature in Celsius and in Fahrenheit will be same at minus 40. Convert the given temperature by using the simplified formula. See, F minus 32 by 9 is equals to C by 5. This is the relationship between Fahrenheit and Celsius scale. Now, to simplify the formula, do the cross multiplication. So, the formula will be F minus 32 into 5 is equals to 9C. Next, multiply the 5 inside the values in brackets. So, we will get 5F minus 160 is equals to 9C. By using this formula, we can convert the temperatures from Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius. If we need the Celsius scale, the formula will be 9C is equals to 5F minus 160. If we need the Fahrenheit value, the formula will be 5F is equals to 9C plus 160. As we already know, the value of Kelvin is 273.15 plus C.